Hi, Collective. Welcome back to the DGC. What's going on? It's your Divine Goddess, DEVI. I hope everyone is doing well today. So I want to do a tap-in for what's going on with those of you who are in twin flame relationships, who are on that path, who are on that journey. If you know you are actively, on the twin flame journey, okay, I like that. We will be taking a closer look. What popped out was magnifying glass. That is the very first card, okay? Spirit is telling me you all need to take a closer look, first message, at this relationship, collective. Most twin flame relationships are here to teach you how to love yourself more so that you can see that love in your external environment, okay? That person is usually a catalyst. Some people believe that you should be with your twin flame for the rest of your days once you find your twin. But in most circumstances that I have observed, um, with the magnifying glass is that these relationships were tumultuous. They were very up and down, very hot and cold. Some of them were violent, abusive. They tend to have a lot of lessons attached to them for the collective. So that's what I've seen. They tend to come with a lot of pain. Okay, just to be honest with you. It's a lot of enduring of a lot of obstacles and uh, trials and tribulations, a lot of things to move through and get through. I think you all are taking a closer look. If you are experiencing any emotional upheaval or pain, you feel guarded, apprehensive, you've been putting up a wall, kind of being defensive and keeping people out, or you just have physical pain, mental pain. You could be having headaches, you could be experiencing a lot of anxiety or stress. And you're starting to really take a look at what is the root cause of this. Where is this stemming from? Ultimately, collective, this will always lead back to self. Examining, how do I love myself? What do I believe I deserve? How do I value myself? What is it that you believe about yourself, collective, that you would accept any kind of treatment that is other than fair, that other than balanced, and other than just. Okay? So we have showing proof, validation, confirmation, and finding the truth. Maybe some of you all recently discovered something about your twin flame partner that you really weren't expecting. Maybe it really threw you for a loop. Maybe you said in your mind, "Oh wow, I didn't know we were this deep, in the fuckery." You know what I mean? I didn't know we were this deep in your bag of tricks. You know what I mean? Okay? Maybe you found some information that this person was having some type of link up with someone. And we have moving that popped out next, boxed up, environment change, an empty shell. Maybe a lot of you feel like it's time to change, this situation. Time to relocate potentially for some of you, or just time to move on from the relationship in general because it's like an empty shell with single right behind it. Yeah, a lot of you are feeling like it's time to move past it. And if you have actually broken out of the twin flame partnership and you just want to check the energy, maybe you are rehashing, thinking back, reflecting, reminiscing, on how painful that situation was to move on from, into a single state of being. Independence, freedom from attachment, and available to date. Yes, collective, you see, this is your justice. Justice is here. Definitely for sure. That tells me the Most High is here watching over you all, keeping guard, keeping track. We have legal matters, court visit, and legal papers and divorce. So some of you are really doing a major separation, a major cord cutting to a twin flame partner that you were tethered to energetically and physically, 3D and 5D. Telepathy, intuition, dreams, and heart song. Maybe you're getting the message from spirit. Maybe you're having dreams. You could be just having moments where you like check out, your mind is somewhere else and you're thinking about the whole situation, and you're just reminiscing, potentially, for some of you. And for some of you that are actually in the relationship, you are taking a closer look at the pain that this person is causing you. Crying, sleepless nights. Maybe you all can't eat, or maybe you're overeating. Maybe you're just very anxious. um just always in a state of expect, what's next. Okay, this person does look at you, this twin flame person, as their muse. They do use you for your creative energy for their life. you know you inspire them, and once they're inspired, they leave you, so to speak, a shell of yourself, and they go and escape. you know, and maybe you're feeling like you need to escape this at this current moment in time. Some of you all could be very emotional. You know, some of you could be feeling like justice was not served in the situation that you were in with someone, and that you're single now, you know, and you feel maybe either you or them are avoiding, blocking, pushing away, and hiding, trying to escape the truth of what happened in the finality of your situation, or coming to that closed door, coming to that end. You know, maybe some of you feel ghosted right now by your twin flame partner, you know, and like I said, emotions following right behind it. This is a very emotional time for some of you. You know, I see adrenaline right here. You know, your twin flame maybe could be out there, you know, on a journey, on the roller coaster, having several people that they're linking up with, you know. This person brings you through ups and downs, okay, good and bad, you know, moments in time where you have a rush of feelings where you just go from happiness to sadness so quickly, you know what I mean? And then they want you to go back to happiness, you know, because you're just craving that little bit of comfort, or you're craving that little bit of familiarity that once was there when you all were good, I guess you would say, you know? And we definitely have decision. So a lot of you are out here trying to figure out whether you want to continue this journey, whether you want to continue to try to find out and see, you know, if this leads anywhere, you know, because so far, all you're experiencing is a lot of emotional upheaval, collective, is what I'm seeing in these cards. You're very emotional right now. For those of you on the twin flame journey that have found this reading and it is resonating, okay? Some of you all were ghosted by this person, you know, and maybe your adrenaline is high right now. You could be feeling upset. You could be feeling, you know, just angry for some of you, you know, that this person took you through so many things. For the decision, it says wrong reason, contemplating, stay or leave, uncertain. Uncertain. Okay. Anything else you want us to know, Spirit, before I move on? Anything else? Mm-hmm. I get it. See what Spirit don't put out? Time and signs. Time says needing time. Now is not the time. Time will bring unexpected changes and signs, meanings, repeated numbers, and synchronicity. So this is that 1111 type energy right here, you know? And Spirit is saying, Spirit wants you to recognize the signs. You know what I mean? You've had a lot of time to see what you need to see in this situation, to find out all you need to find out about this person, you know, and about how they feel, you know, about how you feel, and how things have played out in the experience that you've had with your twin flame on this journey. Spirit is saying now is not the time. If someone is thinking about rekindling with them, Spirit is saying take your time on this. You have all the signs and synchronicities that you need to make an intelligent, informed decision when it concerns love. And I just said incision, so maybe someone is trying to inject, you know, something into the situation. You know what I mean? Muse right there, that's you, collective. And then we have completely done. And of course, with what I just said with the incision, there's the jealousy. There's the jealousy, okay? So there definitely was competition between you and another person that made you want to walk away, move on in this cycle. You know, maybe you're feeling like your lesson is learned or it's about to be learned. Some of you all may be feeling jealous, you know, that this person is out, you know, seeking adrenaline rushes elsewhere on a roller coaster, going, you know, up and down with someone else, you know, bringing it up and dropping it down low with somebody else, you know, and you could be feeling like you're completely done because this person, you know, used to see you, or you want them to see you as the muse, inspired by you, listening to music, emotional bond, and song lyrics. That's if they had you in competition, collective, because we do have the snake coiled around this woman. You know what I mean? That's like a sign, like maybe you all were tempted to do something outside of your character. And so you said, rather than do that, you're going to stay poised. You're going to stay in your divine energy, okay? Your divine goddess or God energy. And you're going to just walk away and be completely done with this situation. All right? So what's happening moving forward is surprise right here. Okay? This person, your twin flame journey, you're on the journey with, is thinking about popping up on you. Okay? Unexpected action. They're talking about you right now with someone. Unexpected action, spontaneous showing up, and unexpected change. And this time card also says unexpected changes. You know what I mean? Someone's wearing a mask when they do show up, okay? Please be careful when your twin flame does show up if you're on that journey, because they're hiding something themselves or they're hiding someone behind. See, it's on this side, it's behind. So someone in the shadows. It says pretending, putting up a front, two-faced, and not genuine. And then it says focused on you, trust, focused on you, focus on just you, observing you, watching, there's no one like you. And I said trust in the middle of that. So someone wants you to trust them. Someone is going to come and tell you, this twin flame partner that you have, you know, they're going to come and tell you. And if I said someone, it could be a family member, a friend they could put up to coming towards you or collective. They're going to come and tell you that you're their muse and that they only want you. You know, they want to surprise you with flowers or a date or some type of present or gift that you really like, you know. But on the side, there are two other energies potentially this person could be linked up with, okay, with jealousy and mask, or it could just be one that hides in the shadow that's very jealous right now, okay? Or this person themselves could be very jealous and they're masked up. They don't want anyone else to have you or date you. Remember, you're single, independent, free from attachment, and available to date, okay? And they're going to tell you they want to work things out. Terms. They're going to ask you, what are your terms for them coming back? Do you see the flowers? They're going to come and try to gift you something, you know, and it's not going to be a big gift, collective, because they're going to try to act like it's from the heart space. So it's a heartfelt gift, you know. It's how do you say, it has what do they call it, it starts with an S, sentimental. It has sentimental value, okay? They're going to claim that they miss being with you intimately, you know, but this person is hiding secrets with ravenous, okay? They might want to get with you intimately, but they are hiding secrets, all right? Or they're with someone else, okay? They're hiding that they have a ravenous appetite with someone else. Uncontrollable desires, appetite for sex, insatiable, and hunger for pleasure. Then we have love affair, keeping things inside and not opening up to illusion, okay? Not opening up an illusion, not to, well, spirit doesn't want you to open up to illusion, but it says not opening up illusions, okay? This person is not telling truths, you know, about what's going on, okay? Or either you're not, you know, you may think that this person only sees you in one type of way, you know, in a ravenous way, and you're hiding secrets. It could be physical abuse here, you know, and every time you say you're completely done, they pop up on you and tell you, begging and wanting to negotiate, and tell you that they want to work things out, that you're their muse and they only see you. And this is causing a lot of reflection right now in this twin flame journey. A lot when it comes to connection and love and soulmates, you know, all of this here. Some of you all could have been engaged to be married, wanting to be married, you know. Like I said, this could be a memory that you're reflecting on, or it could be the now energy. But either way, it's a reflection. Either way, it's a reflection on what's going on right now. Okay? The one, deep love, spiritual connection, you know, dark night of the soul, shadow, dark shadow, facing inner truths. There we go. Seeing true colors. Okay, you heard the car horn. All right? Someone is out here being very risky as far as your twin flame relationship, all right, and your union goes. And now is the time for you to use foresight, okay? If you haven't seen what's in the magnifying glass, you will in the future, few days, weeks, few months, moving forward. And there may be some drama that's going to be attached to this, because spirit is definitely here opening things up. You're protected, divine intervention, guardian angels, and you're being shielded. So we do have risky out here. Someone's very risky in a union. Okay? Your union. All right? Unprotected sex, sexual dis-ease, partner to partner, jumping, hopping around, adrenaline rushes on a roller coaster, and unsafe decisions, you know? This is concerning a union. Reconciliation, coming back, making it work right here with terms and second chance, you know. Spirit is asking you to use foresight in which direction you're moving in right now. Maybe you're already all boxed up. Maybe you're already tired of the drama. If not, you know, be prepared. You know, if you have not heard from this person and you're wondering what they're up to, what's happening, you know, this person also could be driving to see people in the middle of the night. They could be driving to see people in the middle of the night. Yep, on the road. And it's causing drama with you and them, creating problems, thirsty for attention, reacting, drama queen. Drama queen. It could have your emotions frozen right now, collective. You could feel trapped. And, you know, you could feel like there's denial either on your end or their end, contradicting, refusal, dismissal, and not facing reality. This could be for the both of you all, collective. You could be asking them questions and they're denying things, not facing the reality of what they're doing, how they're behaving in your relationship. And you all could be denying that this could be toxic. This could be, you know, just not good, not a good situation. As much as a twin flame that it is, and it feels great when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, collective, it's really bad here. Is what I'm seeing, you know? And it's causing a lot of emotions, you know? You feel like you know, you're climbing the staircase and you know, you're trying to get out of this energy, but it's a lot of bottled up energy between you and them. A lot of bottled up secrets. We have illusions 2 times, collective. Twice. Okay? Keeping things inside, not opening up, and deception. So one of you wants things to come together and the other one is keeping things apart, you know? For some of you, definitely this is reflecting on what you just came out of in your recent history, okay? Some of you all could have been going through emotional turmoil as far as revenge. You know, you went out there and found you someone else, you know, and you got up with this person, you know, just to get back at your past, just to forget your past, hoping it would numb the pain. Retaliation, plotting, payback, punishment, and getting even, you know? It's a lot of partying going on. If this is not you, it's them, collective. They went out and tried to either marry somebody quickly or wife somebody up, you know, make them their main girl, you know, make them bae, make them boo, you know, move them in, you know, okay? They wanted to, you know, bust that wine up all over the place, lock them down type of thing, forbidden fruit, non-committal sexual energy, tragedies, one night stands and things like that. You know, just a party, having fun, a club, risky and fun with friends. Okay? This is what this person is doing. If this is someone in your recent past, you know, or if you're reflecting on the past and you're still in a relationship with this person, you're thinking back about, you know, the history, things that happened, you know, things that you let slide, things that you know, you forgave, you know, things that you caught this person in, you know. Some of you could feel lost, empty right now, invisible, cut off, you know, okay? You could feel like this person cut you off, you know, or they could be messing with someone that feels like, you know, this risky behavior in the union that they had with the person, maybe they're no longer having it anymore. You know, maybe you and them are trying to repair things and someone feels lost and revengeful right now. Okay? They feel like getting even. Okay? Like I said, it's a couple of storylines there. Either way, there's definitely a party. There's drinking going on. Someone feels slighted here, either you, them, or a third party. So do expect a call. What does it say? Hearing from, conversations, talking, and unblocking. What, collective, when it comes to the twin flames? Your twin flame partnership and relationship. Because right now, collective, you're moving away from this into a single energy, you know, whether you really want to or whether this is the plan, but this is where it's going. And there is conflict around it. And I've seen this witchcraft card a second time, collective. Okay? Somebody was definitely throwing a negative energy, trying to do black magic or spell work, you know, just speaking negativity over the relationship. They could have been even mixing herbs, spices, doing spell work with their mouth, you know. Yeah, it says someone is hexing. There's a spell, negativity. Someone could be under the spell of another person, you know. And it's conflict, clashing, differences, incompatible, and irreconcilable because someone is ultimately being very, very sneaky out here, collective. Very, very sneaky. You know, either you or them want to escape this relationship because there's so much conflict. And there is a lot of, like I said, spell work, love spells, love potions, people doing things, burning candles, a lot of sneaky energy linking up behind, your back. Maybe you could have went into this person's phone and, it locked and you unlocked the phone. Okay. And you were able to see what was going on with the influences. You were able to see who they were linking up with, who they were meeting up with, planning discussions and dating multiple people. Okay. It says others are involved, third parties, intervention and manipulation, missing pieces, detached, locked away, heart, can't move on, collective. Okay. So someone's heart is locked up right now. It's either you or theirs, collective. Okay? There's a lot of influences that were in the middle of this relationship or are in the middle of this relationship. And the energy moving forward, it is locked right now, collective. Okay? Because there's so much that needs to be worked out here, is what I'm seeing. There is worry on the table for you or them. Spirit, tell me more about this relationship for the collective. Give me more energy about their twin flame partnership. Okay? Because we are taking a closer look. You are taking a closer look. Okay? A lot of you have moved or are moving. Okay? Into a single energy. All right? It is your justice to do so. Okay? There could be either even legal cases on the table. This person could have hurt you in some type of way, and now you have to see this person again. You have to rehash the past. You have to go over the conflict with lawyers or in a court case. You understand, collective? All right. There's fear on the table right now. You know what I mean? Either you or them. Someone doesn't, want to let the relationship completely end. It's like, what's next? This is all that you may have known for quite a while. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love, and with the pain card, I don't think you all have been feeling the love. It's been more like grief. It's been more like something is transforming or dying out. Something is not in a good energy with this twin flame journey that some of you are on. And we are just being honest here, collective. Okay? We do have forgiveness. Spirit is saying forgive yourself. Okay? Forgive yourself. Because when you know better, you do better, collective. And when you made certain decisions to be with this person, you could have had a locked heart chakra, Maybe you felt like this person was the only one that got you, maybe they gave you an adrenaline rush, Maybe they felt like a missing piece to something that you had needed for a long time, Some of you are empaths, very empathetic, But more than empathy, collective, I would say err on the side of sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Because empathy is like you had to go through it. You know what I mean? Um, with the empathy thing, or you're prone to going through something with someone, you know, because you really want them to understand that you know how they feel, you know. With the sympathy part, you don't necessarily have to go through something to sympathize with someone, you know. You can understand. I see, even though I don't know the direct experience, I see, and I feel for you what you're going through. You know, empathy is more when you went through the same thing with the person, and you all are connecting on a different type of, you know, vibration. Trust that. Okay. There's a lack of trust in this relationship. A lack of trust. Okay? You have walked away many times for some of you. There's been many apologies thrown on the table, many reconciliations, many negotiations, and maybe it's just time to accept that this may be something that, is not for you in reflection, in hindsight, as far as a soulmate connection and balance goes. Maybe there's some denial here, and in order for there to be some growth here, all right, you're going to have to resonate not in fear, but in the energy of love. And love is courageous. Love moves you towards success for yourself and for others that are surrounding you, because based on how you're vibrating energetically on the inside, that will determine what kind of environment you put yourself in, the kind of people you surround yourself by, the kind of people you tether yourself to, or you enter into states of being of love with people, you know? I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Even when there appears to be a failure, collective, there is still something that you learn, an experience that you took from that, you know? A lot of you have been trying to persevere, but there's been a lot of pride, you know? And some of you need to tap into your creative aspect of your mind to see more for your life. Imagine more for your life, you know? Maybe some of you do see more for your life and, you know, you've been very patient, you know, being healthy, happy, you know, trying to err on the brighter side of life, you know, but maybe some of you feel very lonely, you know. And a lot of people did envy you all, collective, because your service is impeccable. You are very successful. And a lot of people judge you for your courage and your bravery, for the way that you were able to surrender to spirit, you know, for the way that you knew which way you were going. You knew how to make firm leadership, you know, firm, decisive choices for your life that benefit you and others around you, you know. Others, others envied you and judged you because you wouldn't die. You know, some people wanted to unalive, you know, they didn't want to see you anymore. Like, oh my God, they showed up again, like type of thing, you know. You're a good friend to a lot of people through adversity, you know, through losses. Some people lost people and you were an amazing friend. You know, they didn't know which way to go. A lot of people didn't know how to surrender to the divine, and you helped them to find, you know, a pathway of peace where they could do so. And a lot of people are very grateful for having you in their life, collective. So your twin flame, you know, they should think, you know, think upon this, needing time, you know. Now is not the time. Time will bring unexpected changes, you know. Someone is feeling guilty because ultimately, if you haven't walked away, you are walking away from this twin flame. It says guilt right there. Yeah, I just heard the car horn knock. You will be moving towards chasing your purpose, and that is going to lead you into a state of abundance, collective. Okay? There is going to be changes. There is a change happening right now, or it's coming up. Okay? And this change is going to be a good one, collective. It's going to bring you peace. It's going to be okay. You are going to have a level of freedom, okay? To explore your mind, explore peace, explore tranquility, and leave worry, you know? Leave worry behind. Okay? Leave doubt behind, leave regret behind, leave blame behind when it comes to relationships that ultimately are having an impact on how you feel about yourself with self-esteem. This relationship has had a big impact on you, collective. Okay? I get that you are very empathetic, you know what I mean? Very empathetic. And it's hard for you to leave people behind and move past them. But some of you have outgrown the situation, is the message I'm getting. You've outgrown this. Okay? Let's get the heart's hidden secret as we close out this reading. Okay? There's a lot of elusive energy right now between the two of you. Okay? But there are realizations, I do see that being had. Okay? There are light bulb moments. You are understanding, you know? In order for you to have that peace, that tranquility in your life, that growth, you know, you're going to have to leave this relationship behind because it is karma coming with it, collective. Consequences, cause and effect, and debts. And either you or them have been very resistant to releasing this energy, okay? Or either this is a third party that's in a relationship that's resistant, you know, secret admirer, suppressing and timid to letting things go, and they've resulted to witchcraft. Definitely with the spider's web, elusive, dishonest, deceptive, and trickery. Okay? There's a lack of balance here, collective. Okay? Not only is your twin flame, you know, bringing a certain type of energy to you, so are the people that they're messing with. You know, and a lot of you, you know, I get it, could feel abandoned. You know? Left out, walked away cold. There are a lot of influences. Okay? Attachment, third parties, and peers. And like I said, there's a clinging, either you or them, to the relationship. Holding on, obsessing, spying, won't let go. Okay? This person is messing with shallow people. Okay? Hollow, empty, and boredom. Shallow. Maybe some of you all this person used to, leave you, how do you say, stand you up, you know what I mean? not show up to wee hours of the night. Like I said, there are memories on the table about lusting. Okay, maybe some of you all are wanting to intimately be with this person, but you know it's forbidden, non-committal sexual energy. You know that. There's curse right here, okay? Let me tell you something. Whoever that your twin flame third partied with, okay? They're putting something on your person. So it is best collective, divine collective, that you go ahead and, even if they're chasing or you're chasing, to stop the chase, or either, tell them to back up. You know what I'm saying? There is a heart fog out here, okay? There is spell work. Someone is putting something on someone who may be at a distance. Your twin flame may be at a distance. And like I said, once again, there's realizations going on right now about a second chance with this twin flame, okay? All right? There's a releasing going on. You're realizing something, collective. Epiphanies, understandings, awakening, letting go, moving on, and walking away. Open your heart, okay, to receive. Empathy, vulnerable, receptive. Maybe some of you are with a closed heart and an open heart here. You want to keep your heart open. Maybe your heart was open for a long time and maybe it was closed. Or maybe it was closed for a long time and now it's open. But there is a change in state of your heart condition happening. Okay? Yeah. And a lot of you may be hiding how you feel. Or they're hiding how they feel. Or there's a third party, in the shadows hiding. Secrets, mysteries, and concealing. And thinking, missing you, craving, and desiring. Okay? This could be you or them, collective. There's several thinking cards out here, but there's drama. So like I say, collective, that is the reading. Please nourish yourself. Okay? Nourish yourself if you're going through any emotional changes while you are breaking away from, leaving this relationship, while you're in it, okay? Or either reflecting upon it. Please continue to nourish yourself, collective. Because this was meant to bring you clarity in your life for self-growth, self-focus, and soul-finding, okay? There's turmoil, unstable, and affected energy here, all right? Maybe one day, collective. But this day and time, now is not the time for this relationship with this twin flame that you are currently in things with. And perspective needs to change. It does, collective, okay? In order to what? Handle this conflict that is going on in this relationship right now, because there is a lot of conflict, okay? Things were black and white before, but they're coming into color. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing things a lot, much clearer, but there's still, there's a heart fog. You know what I mean? There is a heart fog here, okay? And I'm going to show you the very last card. Just get in the heart fog. You see that heart fog? Conflict, the heart fog. People don't know how to, gather their emotions. And time is the last card. Collective, take your time. Examine things closely. This is what Spirit is asking. This is the final message. Waiting, cycles, and moments. Okay? So stop wasting time. You have a whole life ahead of you. This person may want another chance, a second chance. They want to reconcile again. You're thinking about going to this person to reconcile again. They have energies on them, collective. They're messing with people who've put energies on them, okay? So be mindful. That is the reading. Please like, subscribe, and share. Stay blessed as long as you exist, and I will see you on the next one.